Hey guys, and welcome to this Type 62 review. I had to wait an awfully long time to actually be able to pick this up because back when it was last on sale, this little light tank was before the light tank changes in 9.17, and back then I looked at it and I compared it to the WZ131 I was playing at the time, and I thought it's pretty much the same as that tank, so why bother getting it as a premium? And then the light tank changes happened. The WZ131 had some nerfs, some buffs in other areas, and then I was really missing the old WZ131 to be honest. But it wasn't on sale anymore, the Type 62, which was really annoying. So I was waiting for it all the time. It took a long time, and now finally Wargaming put it on sale this week, and I was really happy. I mean, we had the AMX 1357 a short while ago, which I was waiting for as well, and I really like this little light tank. So far I played a couple of battles in it. I played it before on my brother's account, and I love the old WZ131, so I knew this tank was really nice, and it is really nice. So far I've played 12 battles in it in randoms, plus the battles I played on my brother's account. Managed to get the gun mark up to 30% already. Average damage caused is not that high, but spotting damage nearly 2000. So the battles that I did play, I played more on spotting than actual damage. I did get good matchmaking so far, I must say though. Pretty much all the battles were platoon, but most of the time we got tier 8 and sometimes tier 9 matchmaking, but mostly tier 8, which is really nice for this tank. It really shines because it's not really, in that sense, like a standard light tank. It's slightly slower, but the gun is really quite nice. It's good for snapshots. It's not good for sniping. You'll see that in the match later on. A little bit about my configuration. I'm running it with almost 3 full skill crew now. So we've got full camo, 6 sense, the gun handling, and the view range. And I'm also running it with food and fire extinguisher directive. This is something that I am running on the 1357 as well. Or I was. It seems they switched stuff around, so I need to switch this back. But yeah, I am running it with food, 472 view range, and really quite nice camo actually. If you look at it, it's pretty much the same camo as this little thing. Slightly less than the T92. But it's really good camo. You'll see that in the match as well. It is a bit temperamental. It's World of Tanks, so sometimes your camo just refuses to work. But all in all, I mean, it's a pretty nice loadout as well. Because of the food and the rammer, we're up to 2,397 average damage per minute. I haven't got 6 cents. As soon as I reach this skill full, I'll reset the whole crew, Brothers in Arms, 6 cents camo, gun handling skills, and then I'll start retraining these again, basically. So then all the stats will be better as well. We'll take a short look at the stats on Tanks GG compared to the other tier 7 lights, and also compared before the light tank changes to the old WZ131, just so you can see what I mean with the slight stat difference. And then once we got that out of the way, we'll look at the gameplay, and then we'll get the conclusion. So yeah. So here we go. We've got the Type 62 compared to the current WZ131 T71 single shot tank, LTG single shot, and here are the autoloaders. SP1C is not an autoloader, so I should have actually put that one over here, and we've got the 1357. So from the start we can see the DPM is really competitive. It's actually close to the CMCD, and I must say that DA has pretty nice DPM as well, 1357 as well. Penetration is sort of in the middle. It's good enough. Personally, I would like this thing to have the old or the 131 penetration of 159. Heat penetration on this tank is really nice as well. That's the ammo I use for long range sniping, because 145 penetration will ding quite a bit on especially tier 9 tanks, even on the side. Caliber 85mm, but somehow your damage per shot is 180 compared to 200. This one is the 85. No, actually it is the 85mm now on this tank. It doesn't have the 100mm anymore. Shell velocity is low. It's not as low as the SP1C, but you will have to lead quite a bit when trying to snipe with this tank. You'll see that in the gameplay as well. 47 ammo, pretty good. Potential damage is fine. Gun handling stats, as you can see, they're pretty good. Some tanks have worse handling stats. 1375 has slightly better gun handling, but yeah, you really can't complain about this gun handling. And Chinese tanks are pretty good on shooting on the move, to be honest. The dispersion is actually pretty nice. I tend to auto aim and shoot with it. I mean, it's no T92, but you can semi-reliably hit targets, especially at long range snapshotting. Mobility, a bit of a low engine power. You will notice this thing is sluggish uphill. The ground resistances do make up for it on flat ground though, but once you go uphill, the acceleration is not as good as the other light tanks, so it's something to keep in mind. That's the only real drawback to this light tank, I think, is the mobility is slightly worse. I can work with it, but some people might not be able to. Health is pretty much bang on in the middle. Engine health is low, and this is something you have to look out for, because 105 engine health means that pretty much any shot that hits you can take out your engine, especially if they hit the actual engine themselves. Ammo rack health is rather low. Some people complain about this tank getting ammo racked a lot. I've not experienced it so far in the 12 matches I've played and the ones on my brother's account, so I can't really tell. The only time I lost my ammo rack was because of a fire. Fuel range is really good, so all in all, it's a pretty solid light tank. It's not overpowered. It's pretty competitive. It's similar to the 1357, although the 1357 is arguably more powerful because it has the autoloader. And here we quickly compare it to the old WZ131. It with the 85mm. I never played mine with the 100. So penetration is the same. DPM of the old WZ was slightly higher. Shell velocity also slightly higher. Gun handling of the Type 62 was only minutely worse. But yeah, we can see the engine power here was pretty bad as well back then. Ground resistance made up for it. So yeah, as you can see, it sort of makes sense why at the time I didn't really buy it, because yeah, if you compare it to the old one, the old WZ was better and it was for free. So at the time I was like, yeah, I won't buy it. And then the light tank changes came along and I was like, god damn, should have actually bought this one. So yeah, that's it pretty much for the stats. I mean, as you can see, there's some red, there's some green. It's pretty alright. It's pretty balanced compared to the other ones. It's a fun light tank. So let's take a look at the gameplay. So here we have the gameplay part of this review, and as you can see, we're in a tier 9 match, 3-5-7 matchmaking, so the worst matchmaking you'll ever encounter in this tank. I'm platooned up with Arkel and Black Gold Saw, and they're both playing the new Italian medium tank. So yeah, we're bottom tier in this match, and I think this match, it's a good one, it's a long one, and it displays all the strengths and drawbacks to this light tank. So at the start I was going up to this ridge to actually do some spotting damage. As you can see, not the fastest light tank uphill. I do spot quite a bit of guys over there. I got spotted, so I just sticking my gun in the air, because in case you don't know, the spotting points for spotting are actually in the front of the gun and the top of the turret, the view hatch. So if you stick your gun up, you don't have to expose that much of your tank to begin with. And both Arkel and Black are staying there with our 257, who's already losing quite a bit of his HP. And I'm going to this side to actually see if I can A, spot something in the middle, and B, try and shoot the Emil and the M103 in the side. So I'm being a little bit passive here. I want to see if I can spot stuff. And here you can see one of the drawbacks of the Type 62 is the gun depression, because you've only got 5 degrees, which is the same as the LTG and same as the WZ131. I'm reloading a heat shell here, and of course it potatoes into the tracks. I don't get spotted for that shot though, so either that M103 doesn't have that good a crew, or the camo is pretty good, and actually the camo on this tank is pretty good. But yeah, I'm moving up a little bit so I can get more side shots here, and I have to go over the ridge so far to actually be able to shoot this KV3. I'm just zooming out to keep some overview here. Second shot. M103 comes back, KV3 blind fires. I tried to shoot the M103 in the side of the turret, and I've got quite a liberal amount of premium ammo in this tank, that because the 145 penetration on tier 9s especially is pretty bad, and you can see the shell velocity here. I have to lead quite a bit to be able to hit our enemy tanks at this range. Some good shots though in the sides, but the 180 damage actually means that we don't do that much damage per shot, which can be a little bit frustrating. The DPM is really nice on this tank, but you need to pump out a lot of shots to make it work. For some reason, well, I am distracting these guys, and Black Cold Saw and Arkel actually holding on quite well over there. I'm trying to see if I can get some shots here. See the Tiger, but the potatoes into the tracks. The Pantera is on the right. I saw that guy before, but I just he will come back later, and I will put a shot into him. And now we see the Centurion and the 1357 or 75 push, and here we have the Pantera. So I'm just aiming, and I've still got heat loaded, and the heat doesn't lose penetration over range, which makes it pretty ideal for sniping. You have to take care where you shoot with heat, because obviously it gets absorbed by spaced armor, tracks, and all kinds of stuff. And here you can see these kinds of snapshots. This tank actually does quite well snapshotting. It seems like the shells go more to the middle of the reticle than with other tanks. Put a really nice 201 shot into that guy there, and we take him out. So that was really useful. Emil dead now, 2 snapshots, and now I'm just seeing what I can do. My back is still holding on. I'm not getting shot from the middle, so I will just try and get some shots in here. The KV3 is still firing on me. If you try to snipe with this tank, I'm actually still spotted. I didn't expect to be spotted here. So I'm set on fire, and as you can see, I lose quite a bit of HP here, because I do not run a fire extinguisher. I run food and the firefighting directive. If I hadn't run the firefighting directive, I would have burned to death here. But yeah, it's a trade-off. But I find that the advantage you get from food in light tanks outweighs the chances of you being set on fire. Not for the 1357 though. You'll get set on fire a lot. And now we've got this light tank here. I loaded the standard AP again to make sure that my shot wouldn't potato into the wall and be absorbed. So we take him out, and we've still got the standard AP loaded. We see the T28 HTC here in the middle of the field. I look behind me to see what these guys are doing, if I can put a shot in. Doesn't seem to, and now I go up again because I need to spot these guys. I reload the premium ammo because I've got this, even though I've got the side of these guys, it's quite shitty. So we put a shot and we shoot his tracks. Second shot was actually, I'm aiming for his side, but it's still potatoes into his tracks. So now I aim for the turret and it actually goes in. 3 premium shots remaining. Type 20 T28 HTC turns around, and I'm not sticking around because he does something like 300 damage or something with that gun, and I've only got 325 HP, so I'm just going somewhere else. I see that M103 is alone, and I'm just praying that my teammates in the south will take out that Centurion. There's nothing I can do. Enemy light tank was also on this side with the T30, or on this side of the map. I'm thinking here I might get spotted, don't get spotted, don't get spotted, and at this point Arkel and Black are saying get spotted now, and I'm not spotted. Get spotted now with the WZ driving there, still don't get spotted. So I managed to actually make it safely through the middle. As you can see, camo is quite good on this tank, and I'm trying to just get the drop on this M103 here. I'm trying to see if I can hit him. I've got AP loaded again. Because the heat I want to save for emergencies preferably. I'm just mountain goating up here, and the terrain doesn't allow for me to get a good shot here. We see the back of the turret, and he's hull down, really can't get a shot in, and it potatoes into the building. So that was a little bit unfortunate. We do get spotted, but he doesn't seem to be reacting. So yeah, try to aim for his engine deck, potato into the building. So I should just do snapshots here. I hit him, don't penetrate this armor. Side of the M103, 145 penetrations you miss. But he spotted me, so can't stick around here. He's now aiming for me. So I think T28 HTC or RT. So I'll just go spot on this side. And as you can see, the mobility isn't that bad. I mean, the ground resistances are good. If you go uphill, you slow down. But like this, it's pretty okay actually. And I spot the M40-43, but he obviously has 6th sense, so he knows he's spotted. He's pulling back, can't get a shot up. So yeah, I'm thinking of going that way. Base is being captured, and now I think, actually, I was thinking I'll go around the left to the A9 line to go around that M103, but then I'm thinking, yeah, would he really come to me instead of going to base? And then I see him there, and I think, no need to actually go up that hill. He's over here, so I'm just going to climb up the hill on the left here to try and shoot him in the engine deck if I can. So there we go, we aim, aim, aim. One shot in. And this one goes nowhere, so that's a little bit unfortunate. This is a really tricky shot, and we miss, so time to pull back again. We still got the standard AP loaded. There's one capper, the M103 now has turned towards me, so there's no point in trying to engage him that way. So we'll go this way and see if we can find something. The M103 is taken out. We know the Arty was last spotted in base, so yeah, let's see if we can spot something here. And then I think, nah, I'll have to go to the middle. There's a guy capping, and I look at the distribution of my team on the map, and no one is near the cap circle at the moment. So I need to be close to the cap circle to decap in an emergency. We spot the M40 again there. He has 6th sense, so he knows he's spotted. So I put a nice shot into him, actually a low roll. He drives into safety. I climb up further up the hill. And we spot the GW Panther, who's obviously not got 6th sense. So put one shot in. That was actually still a low roll. Still a very much a low roll. And someone else steals the kill. So yeah, that was a little bit sour. And I think my platoon mates were getting a bit salty with the Skoda. Yeah. And it seems that the Skoda is not repairing his commander for some reason. I tried to get a shot in T30, it hits but it bounces. I mean, as you can see, the snapshot capability of this tank is actually pretty solid. The penetration will let you down though, so I'm trying to spot something here, trying to see, and I got spotted, and I've got a really low amount of HP, so I need to pull back. And now that Arty is probably trying to gun for me, he's probably mad that I keep spotting him, so I keep driving. There's only 1 minute and 35 seconds left on the clock, so we need to actually start decapping unless we actually want to lose this by cap. So I am going to take a risk here. I've got the heat loaded now, but in a moment I'll think, no, I'll load HE actually, because I'm going towards his side. There we know it's a T28 HTC capping, and I reload HE here. I just need to reset him. I don't need to kill him, that's completely irrelevant. I just need to reset. So he's over there. I try to auto aim, doesn't work. Shoot an HE shell into his side. We pull back, he gets taken out. And now there's a T30 on my left. I've still got the HE loaded, and I wanted to see what this HE can do. Arkel said it was pretty good, 43 penetration. The side of an or the side of a T30, I think is less than 43 millimeters on the engine deck. So I'm trying to actually get a shot in there. It doesn't seem to be working, so second shot. Shitty amount of damage, and now I reload AP. I'm just taking a risk here. I saw him fire and I instantly pulled back, and I was in time because the T30 has got slow shell velocity. So now I know he's reloading for quite a while now, so I can safely close this distance. He's the last guy left alive. If I die here, that's not really an issue. I mean, I've done my part in this match. But yeah, I just want to see if I can get some damage in. He is still spotted. He doesn't know where I am. So I just get around here, put one shot into him. Put a second shot in. He turns back. I get behind the ridge. And now I take another calculated risk. I know he's aiming for me. And he potatoes into the ground. And we get to take him out. So yeah, that was the match. Let's take a look at the results quickly and then go to the conclusion of this little light tank. So here we go. We got an ace tanker, which is pretty difficult on this tank under normal circumstances, and is pretty much impossible at the moment because everyone is playing it. It's just like the AMX 1357. it's really tricky to get an ace, and I was really glad that I got it on the 11th or the 10th match actually. Managed to also get an Orlix medal, Confederate and a Defender. Managed to get 1777 base XP, which is a really solid score. I mean, this probably the requirements for an ace on this tank are like 1700 actually at the moment. So I was really glad that I got it, because that meant that I could do a review video, because I only do reviews with my own ace tanker gameplay. So if I don't get an ace tanker, there will be no review. And some people have been asking me for a review video on this tank while it's on sale, so there you go. This will make sure that I can do a review. So 3,500 damage ourselves, more than pretty much, yeah, more than anyone. Our Waffenträger did pretty close, but he's a tier 9. The M103 did pretty close, he's a tier 9. This 132 actually did really well in the end. Shame he couldn't win, but yeah. I was, yeah, as I said, unexpected ace here. 3,500 damage ourselves, 2,900 from sniping, 2,077 spotting damage as well, 5.5 kilometers traveled, base defense points, all really quite nice. Spotted 10 at the start, or yeah, no, damage 10. Spotted 8 at the start. We didn't make a small profit. This would have been higher if I wouldn't have been running food. And this is both because of the premium ammo I had to fire, but also because I fired quite a bit of AP ammo in that match. So yeah, we didn't make much profit. We still made a profit. I had the 5 times XP running for the missions you get with the tank, so I managed to get 1,300, nearly 1,400 XP, which is also really nice. But yeah, all in all, I think this this match displayed pretty well what the Type 62 is capable of, its advantages, its drawbacks. I'm really glad I picked this one up. So yeah, let's go to the conclusion. So it's conclusion time. Is the Type 62 worth the money? It's currently being offered for £34 or close to 40 euros. And for me personally, yes, it's worth the money, because I love the old WZ-131 and I love the Type 62. It's such a nice little light tank. But then again, I'm a light tank player. I prefer to play pretty much only light tanks, some mediums, some TDs. So for me, it was worth it. I can see it not being worth it for quite a bit of people, because it is bundled with stuff. I can see why Wargaming bundles it with stuff, because this tank is really competitive. And if they would just sell it at like 20 euros or something, what is normal for a tier 7, then there would be a huge influx of these tanks on the battlefield, and you don't really want that. You already saw that a little bit with the 1357, which was priced around the same amount. This tank, it's similar to the 1357, but the 1357 is more powerful in kind of brawling engagements, just because you got that clip. But statistic-wise, I mean, statistic-wise, they're pretty much the same camo, with food, pretty much the same view range. Type 62 has got a lot better DPM actually, but the 1357 has got the clip. I think for a light tank, it is worth the money. I'm not planning on keeping the WZ-132. Although it's a nice light tank. I've got the 131, but I'll sell that now because there's no point. I've got the Type 62. So I'm going for the top tier Chinese light tank at the moment, and I'll sell all the other ones. Yeah, for me, this tank is definitely worth it. I think it looks really nice. I just wish, the only thing I wish is that they'd given it the muzzle brake of the WZ-131, because I think this looks really cool as a gun. I don't like the potato gun this one has in the model, but I mean, statistic-wise, it's a great light tank. I like it. I think it's worth the money. It is competitive. If you've got money to spare, there's no harm in picking it up. You'll have fun in it, I guarantee it. So yeah, it gets an upvote from me. I like the tank. If you bought it, I hope you do enjoy it. If you didn't buy it, maybe I could persuade you with this review. And I hope you did enjoy the review outside all of that. If you did, feel free to rate it, subscribe to the channel, and see you guys next time.